Just want to give a shout out to director Bill Lurch, who was going to join us for the running commentary on this. And Bill, I hope you don't mind, I went ahead and continued to review the album. Running commentary. We are exploring listening to albums. It is a lost art form. U2, Zooropa. It's not that I don't like it, I just don't understand it as a U2 record. It's 6.5 minutes long. I don't get it. What's going on here? Why would you take a formula that works, whether people like it or not, the U2 formula for big songs, you know, the Bob Clear Mountain stuff, it works. You know, people understand it. This was like, okay, that was weird. The Edge's guitar remains distinctive. Babyface is the first of the tracks featuring Bono's falsetto, which eventually becomes a tiresome feature of this long player. I don't think this track achieves much. I really don't, you know. Zooropa won the Grammy Award for Best Alternative Music Album. It's supposed to be an album of disjointed experimental pop, and it certainly succeeds in that regard. Numb was a cast-off song from Achtung Baby. Bono's falsetto track, 2. The Edge on the continuous stream of don'ts. Don't do this, don't do that. Kevin Godley's video couldn't make this work as a single. It's never been played on live tours since, and I'm not surprised. I didn't like this song when it came out. I don't like it now. I don't get it. Don't do like, what are you doing? Total wank. I'm sorry. This song is wank. I don't get it. Why have you released this song? I don't get it. Don't get it. Don't understand it. Don't think it's funny. Don't think it's humorous. Don't think it's edgy. I don't get it. Just do not. Lemon. Where are my notes for Lemon? Oh yeah. It's no Pride, or With or Without You, but among these songs it stands out. This is the one track where I like Bono's falsetto. Lemon, you know, it works. I think it works because the song has direction and structure. When he's just kind of like going, you know, it's like, okay, but what is that achieving? I don't get it. Why would you want to hear your own voice that way? Maybe as an occasional flourish. But Lemon, as I say, you know, it sounds like Bono when he sings here. You know, slowly slipping under that fret part of the song. It really works. The bridge, I absolutely love. You know, man-made, yeah, really good. That middle part is really epic. And the shuddering chord sequence here, which I'm guessing is Brian Eno. I don't know. At 6.5 minutes long, it is long, but it's definitely my favorite track on the album here, Lemon. Then we've got Daddy's Gonna Pay for Your Crash Car. It starts with what seems like a dramatic style old school film, which I'm then told, or through research, find out that this is a Russian folk song that they've used at the beginning of Daddy's Gonna Pay for Your Crash Car. It then sort of goes into this very metallic, distinctive rhythm. I like what the instrumental's doing, but what is the point of what they're singing about? And that's what's wrong with this album. You know, we go back to what it says, disjointed experimental pop. I mean, you've got to give us a clue. I mean, apparently Zooropa is about this overstimulation of technology and media and how that, you know, how we can't sensory overload and we can't make hide nor hair of things. Okay, all right, so as I'm talking about it, I'm like, okay, but it's just so left field. Like, why would you go here? I don't get it. State, Far Away, So Close. This was a big song. This was a top 10 record. I always respected this as the only legit single from U2 around 1993. I mean, okay, Lemon I really like as a song, but I didn't think it was a great single choice. It has presence, it sets the scene. It's reassuringly familiar on an album where the band have chameleonized beyond recognition. I feel like this is the only song where Bono shows his vocal capability. It's almost like on every other thing he's deliberately holding back what he has the ability to do to be artsy, and it just comes across like he's singing badly. I've got to talk now about this alleged Pet Shop Boys story, which is something that just ties in with this album so beautifully. So the story goes that right around the time when U2 were trying to do all of this sort of experimental stuff, they had quite the hankering for Pet Shop Boys to write for them. They thought that that would be a great idea. Pet Shop Boys, in their usual kind of standoffish, not quite committing. I remember once I sent a tape, and I, have some kind of dealings with Neil Tennant before, and they sent the tape back, but they kept the letter. I'll always remember that. They kept the correspondence, but sent the tape back. And I knew them, so I didn't take offense to it. But they are very, songwriting is Pet Shop Boys' bread and butter. So apparently the story goes that U2 were constantly pursuing Pet Shop Boys to write for them. And it got to be this kind of awkward situation. So the Pet Shop Boys then went on to cover Where the Streets Have No Name. And they did this really, I think, and they fused it with Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. It was horrible. I think it's one of the worst Pet Shop Boys things of all time. And on the B-side of that song was a song called How Can You Expect to Be Taken Seriously? Turns out that this was the Pet Shop Boys' way of telling U2 to fuck off and stop bothering them. But that's not the catchphrase of this story. Apparently, Pet Shop Boys are on tour somewhere, and a big bouquet of red roses comes into the dressing room, and they open up the little card that's on the flowers, and it says, what have we done to deserve this? And I thought that was just an absolutely great story. It ties in with this album. I had to say that story because it's so disconnected from what U2 do. I don't know what the hell they're doing here. Let's talk about The First Time, which is atmospheric as a ballad. I bought this. Bono's falsetto is completely out of place on this track. Eno's soundscaping is epic here and really enjoyable. This is great. This is like, zonked. I love this. This is really good. They did a great job with The First Time. Some days are better than others. It's okay. The lyrics don't resonate with me. It seems like it's trying to be clever, it's poncy, and it's pretentious. I wonder if sometimes that U2 were in earnest on their classic work and the audience regarded the Joshua Tree and Unforgettable Fire as overblown. So the band then wanted to increase their level of creativity, and the way it translated to the audience was as highbrow and out of touch with the reality that the band's earlier material had so poignantly captured reality, which is what made U2 so successful. And then they sort of came out with the Joshua Tree songs, which, like them or not, these are well-written songs. Dirty Day. Bono's falsetto again. I want to strangle him. I just want to strangle him. I just want him to stop making that noise. It's like a pup after you've trodden on its foot. Like, stop singing in falsetto, Bono. It's horrible. Again, this is okay. It's a little bloated, a little pedestrian. The lyrics are doing nothing for me. This time it sounds like he might be trying to pay homage to Bowie, but I know these guys wouldn't want to do that with this song. There's no way that they, and just so you know, for all of the critics, oh, it was great, oh yeah, blowing smoke up their ass, I think U2 kind of walked away from this with their tail between their legs. They're not in a rush to play this material live. That's not because, they want to, they're leaving it where it is. And, I almost hate to bring it up again, guys, I'm sorry. The Wanderer. Now, this is great. This is the pairing with Johnny Cash. And it's heartwarming, and After Lemon is my other favourite song on the album. It's very rare that a U2 duet is shit. They're really good at duets, I think. They choose their audience well. Johnny Cash is just great. It's just heartwarming, it's a jewel to discover. And he's performing in his legendary sort of Man in Black style, and I love that U2 are allowing him to do that. They're literally the backing band for Johnny Cash on this song. And, it's genius. This is a great way to end what is essentially, I think, a pretty shitty album. I don't like this album very much. It was hard to come up with a mark for it because I just was confused at the end of it. I'm like, now, am I stupid? Have I missed something here? I mean, for God's sake, I've listened to it twice, and on the third listen, as I'm taking notes, I'm like, well, what are they doing? So in the end, I decided to award Zooropa by U2 70%. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, recommend it to friends, post comments. Also, if you have an album that you'd like to hear reviewed, we welcome your requests.